It's that time of the week, that time of the hour, that time of the day. Welcome back for another brand new episode of the Beyond Expedition podcast with two of your most favorite co-hosts in the entire world, my boy Brett and me, Eduardo. Now, we have returning guests. You might remember them from episode 55, Squatching.
Yeah.
Continuous of that episode. There's a lot of stuff that's happened from then till now. So let's jump into it, boys. We don't need to introduce you guys because they've already been properly introduced, but of course, Eric and Hector.
So first of all, we presented them with our little token of appreciation.
Right there. Thank you.
And that's because somebody had enough huevos to come with us.
Okay, I'll take it. No, but yes.
We got to talk about that.
We definitely. So we can go definitely through many avenues, but I just want to say, when we left off that episode that night, he recommended a documentary by
Todd
Standing. And I'll tell you what, I stayed up that whole night just watching that whole documentary and just going, like, I went into a wormhole of just everything having to do with just this Sasquatch, the Yeti, all that. I was mind blown. Just because the one that really kind of freaked me out, and I'll just say this, and we can go off this one right here. The Sierra sounds. Have you heard?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my word, dude. When I heard that, I'm like, there's got to be something out there. I don't know what it is, but there definitely is something out there. But, of course, boys, let's catch up. So, how you guys been, and what you guys have been, what have you been up to ever since that episode that we recorded with you guys?
Okay, so since everything, there's been another forest fire. And so we started a new thing where instead of leaving the apples at the designated site, which, you know, the first time that we hooked up with them, now we moved the apple drop site, and we found that they follow the calls and the song that we sing. They follow it. Mm-hmm. And then recently I started hiding the apples up in real treacherous places. I mean, really steep where no human is going to go. And I'm hiding the apples now because since they like to play games with us, we're playing back.
Yeah.
And
okay.
They found the first ones, and then so I followed their footprint, which was interesting because I put them in a place where it was really hard for humans to get to. And when they came and got them, they came down the steep side of the mountain, and where they would step, left like a trail that I used to climb up to put the next apple.
Oh, wow.
And this was steep, and I mean I'm guessing because I couldn't measure or take my phone out or anything, but I'm thinking it's 5-6 feet the stride, for the footprints. Yeah, that was a good find. And
when was that?
Recent.
Two
weeks
okay.
ago.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That one.
Damn.
Wow.
And then
Every time we go up there,
I went up higher and left more apples. So we got to go back and see what happened to those. But they just barely started letting us go all the way back there because of the forest fires. And then when we went with Brett, another fire hit and took out our apple drop from that night.
Oh, really?
What an epic trip. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So since we talked about in episode 55 till now, have you noticed that there's more people actively going out there and doing kind of like their own research? Because to me, it seems like the topic is more out there now. And this is just me. I've been seeing more people being involved. Is that something that you guys seen firsthand as well, or no?
Well, I definitely know more people are interested because, some of the family that before Tony thought that I was, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, now he's getting wind. Well, maybe he's not so crazy.
Mm-hmm. You're getting validated.
His brother, his older brother, he's been, on board the whole time. He listens to what I say, but his younger brother was always, you're the fallacy. You're just following, dust in the wind.
For sure.
But I just recently saw him, and I told him, hey, anytime, come on up.
Yeah.
I'll take you up there.
It's hard to
introduce
disprove
you.
DNA, too.
Yeah.
DNA?
DNA was found in the Olympic Peninsula. There's a show on Discovery. It's called Discovering Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There's the number one renowned primatologist named Mariah. Well, she does this thing called eDNA, and that takes anything that ever walked on the ground near anything. They take that and they put it in a machine, and it tells you every single species that's ever walked through there. Well, in the Olympic Peninsula, they found what's called a pan gene. That's only found in primate.
Wow.
I do.
No primate in Washington.
Right.
Well, this was recent as 2 years.
Oh, wow.
That's how thick the DNA was left behind.
I was talking to somebody recently. They were talking about a hiking trip out in Rainier. and they were talking about how they were hiking, and there was this big hole in the ground. Remember, I was telling you about this big hole in the ground, right? And we're talking like deeper than 6 feet and probably about 8 feet wide. And so the one guy says, "Hey, let's go ahead and jump down there." So one of the guys jumps in, and he says the first thing he noticed was the stench.
Yeah.
And it stunk so bad.
That's always what they say. It's the smell that you first start encountering, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually you smell them and you don't see them, or you get a surprise peep at them, and then you got like seconds before they run off and they disappear on you.
Would that be like a den, or what would that be?
That
Could be a
sounds like it,
sleeping area.
yeah.
Okay.
And they have their range is 100 miles.
100 square miles, yeah.
100
mile.
square mile.
So I'm sure they have more than one condo, right?
Yeah.
There's clans. There's different species of Sasquatch that we've seen out here. There's 2 different colors, actually 3 that we've seen so far. There's a white, which are like towards the Olympic Peninsula.
Oh.
And there's a black ones that are more like primitive.
Yep.
Like the evil ones, the bad ones.
With the red eyes, right?
then-
Yeah.
The-
Then we've got the reds.
The Reds, yeah.
And those ones everybody usually sees.
The gray ones are also been spotted like down by Ray, Washington, that beach area down there.
Okay.
So it sounds like they adapt to their environment.
It's like coastal swatches.
Yeah, because there's been
coastal lines.
sightings around the Raymond or Ray, Washington area, and they're gray.
Okay.
Totally gray.
That makes sense. They would adapt to their environment, because I've heard of cows that have gotten loose, and then they'll find them. They'll go wild, right? And then when they find them again, they already have like a full wool coat on.
Yeah, like the buffalo.
They're furry. Yeah.
Insane. There's so much, man. I mean, just going back to, because again, you recommended this documentary when we left off on the last episode. That Todd Standing one of the ones he took out 2. I don't know what they were in their fields, but they were people that were skeptic of the whole thing, right? And he took them out there, and one of them said he saw one, and he was kind of replicating kind of how he walked. And he said from him being out there and experiencing everything, with Todd Standing, he said he believes they do exist. He swore and everything.
The world-renowned leader in all cryptozoology.
Well, we know
Yeah.
they exist. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's more and more people starting to finally get on board.
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird because the timing is more and more people are getting on board with UFOs and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
Everything that they
With the
released,
social
Yeah.
media,
declassified, of
there's
course.
Yeah.
so many images and pictures of coming out of these things. I mean, it's going to capture a lot of people.
All taboo is turning into reality.
Yeah, right. Isn't that crazy, right? So I don't know if we've talked about this in the last episode. We might have, but I'm just gonna ask it anyways. Is there any ties that you guys heard that there's a tie with the UFOs and Sasquatch? They always say that they see like this ball of light. So have you guys heard about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And recently, I was just surfing, and I saw a really good one. And
The
we were
Bigfoot Project, the podcast I was telling you.
Okay.
Yeah.
and we tried to find it again, and
It's gone.
poof,
Can't
gone.
find it.
Wow.
Really?
But it
So-
was an amazing story.
The story was some MPs on a military base. I'm not sure if Tennessee, South Carolina, somewhere
Kentucky.
over that way, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay, on a military base, they see a flying saucer come down, off the base or
Right outside the base.
right outside the base.
Okay.
And they see it land, and then they see a Sasquatch running to it. And there was 2 of them that saw this, and they made a report on this, the Bigfoot thing. And then we tried to find it last night, and we couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it.
was gone.
Really?
You
But
think
yeah,
they took
these-
it down, or you just couldn't find it?
Every episode is chronological. I couldn't find the episode.
Oh wow.
Anything.
That is wild.
Sus as hell for sure, man.
But
That's
I did mention it right away too.
So they said something in there then.
Yeah.
They have to be. I mean, the way that they're discovering the cloaking that the way Sasquatch has. I mean, they on that show I was telling you about, Discovering Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They show what looks like a shadow of a Sasquatch running by on the top, but then he just like
Cloaks.
Just disappears.
disappears.
Yeah.
Even
On,
the shadow is removed from the rock, and
Okay.
you can see it like phase out.
Yeah, it's like
amazing.
there's nothing there. They're filming it, but you see a shadow on the rocks in the back. This thing it's cloaking. And then, all of a sudden, it just disappears. Poof. And right on camera. That was an amazing episode. We do keep track of stuff with like that Todd Standing. We get a lot of stuff. We learn a lot from him.
Yeah. He seems like that dude. He's on a different level.
Oh yeah.
Because this dude goes out by himself. I'm telling you, bro. You got to watch the
No, I did.
documentary before you
I
did.
watched
Way
it.
out
Yes.
in Alberta, Canada.
High in the mountains by himself. He
After
brings only a
being-
small amount of equipment, and I don't think does he break. I don't think he takes weapons, does he?
He does, but he never used it.
Yeah.
He won't
He's
pull.
only
Crazy.
drawn his weapon one time, but never pointed it at any of them.
If he fired in the air, just
Yeah,
to scare him away.
to
'cause
scare
there
them.
was five.
And all it did was attract them more.
There
Yeah.
was 5 of them, and the alpha was getting too close.
And the one that they found, that he
Farther.
found on video, was just massive.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
did you
dude.
see that? When he was standing next to the
When you
tree.
see
and
that-
Yeah, he was just
Jack
standing there. You could see
yeah.
something standing there. Like it's so obvious, and I'm like, dude, I would never think of me going by
shoulder
myself, dude.
Hell,
Hell,
miles
Oh,
from
man.
civilization.
Have you guys ever seen this video?
definitely. Let's watch this video right here. This
It
is new
it
right
came
here.
out like 9 years ago, right?
Is that the one where he's
Yeah.
getting the
That's
pigs?
where he grabbed. No, I think this is the one where he
collecting
grabs
the
the
pig?
gator out of the water and starts.
no,
pounding.
oh no, he's so this guy, he sneaks up on him, right?
Oh, yeah, and he's eating something out of the
Oh,
bark.
in the tree.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
foraging. Yeah.
Is it,
You
so
gotta see the one where
bugs?
he picks up an alligator and carries it like a freaking suitcase.
He
and
hits it
walks
in the
away
head
with
first.
it. Yeah, he pounds
Punches
it in the water.
head.
So he's just like crouched down
Yes,
right now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
this
look at
is
he's
good.
just tearing that stuff, and
Yes,
then
I
you
see
can hear the video.
Yes.
You can hear the wood coming off, so you can hear the strength in this guy.
So
And
this one.
Effortlessly, just like peeling it like a banana.
So this one being out in the day like that would definitely be a day watcher.
Yeah. So this is in the Everglades. This is somewhere down in Florida, I
Skunk
believe.
apes.
Yeah, skunk.
That's
ape.
crazy.
Yeah.
They got it. They
that's
call it
exactly
skunk ape
it.
because they get a white patch all the way down their whole.
Oh, I thought it was because of their smell.
No, they look like they have this like white patch that comes all. The
Oh,
way
that's what they
down
call it, the
to
skunk
leg.
ape, right? Yeah.
So he doesn't get a front visual of him, but watch, he's about to stand up.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
then
plug
that-
this in the
and then
video
he-
as well, so
he
people can
books
watch
it.
this as we're watching this as well at the same time.
That'd be awesome to catch.
Oh my God, that's like a Class A extreme.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
That's what we're after. We're after. This is our main.
If we were this close, I'd shit my pants.
well,
I want to get as close
I'll
to
tell
the guy
you,
that talks. To
when they're that close, your
God,
hair
there he is.
stands up.
Yeah.
God, he's
looks
just
like a gorilla.
Yeah, well, that's what people were initially saying until he stands up.
But by the way he stands up, the gorillas are hunched when they stand up. No matter what, they have their
Yeah.
ass hanging out. This one stands up and he comes out flat.
So he stands up and this guy books it, so it's quick.
Yeah, you see how big it is.
Yeah, I'd be doing the same thing as fast as I could, man, for real.
I'd be throwing
That's
a rock or
insane.
something to get him turned to look at me. Man.
Yeah, right.
Maybe chuck an apple at him, man.
Yeah, what if you
He's-
accidentally miss and hit him in the back of the head, and then you get in jack link?
There he is.
Oh, right there. I'm out, dude. Trust me, I would do the same thing, dude. And this guy, from what it seems, he was just out there just hiking or
exploring.
doing
he
his
was
thing,
just
right?
doing his thing. I mean,
that's
and-
usually
Scouting,
how it happens,
probably.
too.
He was probably scouting a hunt or something like that.
That's crazy.
Wild
yeah.
dogs.
so he just didn't even know what he saw.
They
So he's
stumbled
like,
on that. That's the only way you really get to see them like that is if you accidentally stumble upon them
Yep.
and they don't know you're there.
And it's always those ones too that like people might have seen something like that of that magnitude, but they never recorded it. They just seen it at first glance. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they
Yeah.
never like do anything with that information or relay it to anybody else or any other resources, so they could say, "Hey, this is what I saw. Classify this as like a Class A, Class B sighting or whatever."
yeah.
So it's crazy, man. I mean, moral of the story: there is something out there, right? I truly do believe there's something out there now.
Definitely something out there. And
last
they're
summer-
very intelligent.
yeah, I want to talk about last summer though. I went out with these guys last summer, and I had no idea what I was expecting to
Getting
see.
into.
We took pictures, we took video, I mean, it was amazing, but the story's gonna be better when you guys tell it.
Okay.
But it was amazing.
Okay.
So on this trip, it was epic, by the way.
Okay.
Some very important things happened here. First of all, we were able to see what kind of weight it takes to push the forest floor down.
Yes.
And it is extraordinary weight. So
Okay.
all three of us together probably couldn't put no indentation in the forest
Pop
floor.
right back up like a
So-
memory foam.
So the footprints that we're finding that we know go at this about this deep, and this animal is pushing them in there. Now, for a full-grown cougar with a deer in its mouth, now you could, let's say the cougar weighs
Probably about 110 pounds, 115 pounds.
150, we'll say, and then the deer at 200. That's 350 pounds for the deer in his mouth. He jumped up on a stump to eat his deer. and me and him saw, we followed, we tracked. I showed him what happened. The deer got killed here. He dragged him here. He jumped up here, put him on the log, and then he ate it.
Yeah.
And all the evidence was there, the bones, the fur, everything. Well, the significance of that footprint that we found with that deer in his mouth, he pushed the forest floor about the same distance down that these squatches do. So that gives you a relevance of the weight it takes to crush that forest floor.
In comparison to the cougar, right? Yeah. Okay.
And that was right next to our camp, by the way.
We
was very,
We didn't know.
We had no idea.
Accidentally set up camp on top of the cougars.
Yes.
It was directly underneath.
Me and Eric, we're talking at night, right? And we had a few drinks,
Yeah.
maybe. But
Like boys, like men. Like men. No shit.
and I'm talking to Eric, and I've just noticed he's not paying attention to me at all anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at him, and he's just like kind of nodding his head, like I saw some eyes, and I'm like, I'm thinking Bigfoot, right? He's like, it was something. It was something.
Decided to stick her head up and open her mouth and then pop back down before I can get my gun out.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't, we didn't even know what it was until the morning after, where we went to look at what was down there to see if we could find tracks or whatever. We find a cougar den.
We were sleeping right next
on
to it.
top
And then
of it.
In the morning, we ended up finding more bones like right outside of our camp where he had made another kill.
Yep.
Damn. That's crazy.
Deer bones and everything.
Little did he know.
Vertebrae, everything. It was kind of scattered in a little bit different areas, but yeah.
But there was the area was very active at that. When we got there was footprints like everywhere, and so we walked into like a gold mine. Plus, we had baited it. Was it the week before?
Yeah, a week before.
The week before, we went and left the apples, and sure enough, took them, left us some nice prints. So they knew we were coming back.
And you got to find your own print.
Yeah. And I got to see those kill boxes up close.
Yes, we did show.
in
Okay,
person.
we talked about that before. Yep.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's so. I mean, I was in my steel toes out there, and I'm walking, and I'm trying to videotape and everything, but I have to watch my every step because there's just so many twigs, and I'm like, this is genius on how they decided to work with their surroundings on how to kill these deer.
So first,
Basically put a grid down.
It's a grid, yes,
And you'll see them in like all the Bigfoot documentaries. You look in the background, you'll see
nobody ever talks
You'll
about
see the patterns of the logs stacked on each other. You'll also see the crisscrossing of the logs.
Yep.
And they
very
like
intricate. Very intricate.
They like X's a lot for some reason. And I just posted on Facebook one of the recent ones that they had, and it's almost identical to ours. And I've also seen them in Montana when we were snowmobiling. So these things are everywhere, and they leave their marks in the trees everywhere.
The one we just
Interesting.
found basically made him and two grandsons. I took a picture of them standing in front of it.
Yeah.
Like ants. That's how big these logs were that moved. And
So how big do you think that would have to be then? 10 feet?
Oh, bigger. This has to be at least 13 feet.
So Brett, just a question for you, since this, so you saw them first glance. Like, what was your initial thought when you saw them? Like, what came to mind? Like, once you saw these things, like,
So
put together.
I'll be honest. There was enough liquor for me that I was like, okay, because I was starting to feel fear.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was like, okay, we're seeing a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
And so I'm now at a crossroads where maybe I don't want to see it. Yeah. So once I started getting that, I just had to drink that liquid courage because Eric and Hector, they're like, okay, we're not done yet. We're gonna go in deeper. I mean, and when we say deeper, we're meaning no lights, no nothing. And Hector's just giving his Ohio calls and just making it very known we are out there and we are out there for them. And so I just kept saying, okay, keep going, And so I was drinking enough to where if I did see it, right, and then I would have enough liquor to handle it, but also if it killed me, at least I'd be drunk.
I'm going out happy, man.
But it was
I ain't gonna
something.
feel nothing.
We were seeing so many different things that I'm just like, people need to do this. Mainly the skeptics, the people that are out there that are so dismissive about this stuff. there's nothing like when you're going with people that know what they're looking for. They're showing you all these different things. Like they're showing you the tracks. They know, like you guys have this, this trained eye for this. Whereas I would look down at the ground and I wouldn't think anything of it, right? My naked eye wouldn't pick it up. These guys know what they're looking for. So Eric and Hector, they're like, oh yeah, this is a foot. And then once they show me, then I can see it. I'm like, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we
showing
took
the
you to
slide,
that one.
showing the direction it's walking.
We took you to that one. That's me and my grandson's.
Yeah. So I'll share some pictures that we can post up.
Definitely, we'll post
on
them up
that.
for the lovely people to see themselves, to see what we're seeing as well.
I'll send you that one.
And that is what would you call that? Because that's not a kill box.
No,
that's
that's
just
like
Tree
a
structure. We call them
the pyramids.
pyramids. Yeah. Pyramids.
And that's the one thing, right, that comes to question, like, what, or if, let's say if it was like they use some kind of machine to do it, you would see tracks, it would be so obvious, right, if this was something doing that.
Oh, yeah.
But in the videos that I've seen too of, like, these like you said, these kill boxes or these tree structures, you there's no way like that just any human could do that. There's no way. And it's just a massive massive logs.
Who would want
The
to
other-
go
Why would
out
you
there
do
in the
it
middle of
barefoot as
nowhere
well?
and go waste your time?
The other
Yeah.
physical
And
evidence that they're
giant
leaving
logs.
behind, the other physical evidence they're leaving behind is they're pulling these trees up from the ground.
Yeah.
And there's
yes.
for a person to do that, we'd need a machine, and you would have to have machine marks,
For sure.
imprints to where you could pull them out. So these things were pulling these trees out from the roots. Just
Dude.
pulling them out. And you're like, how in the hell?
These things must be
I
massive.
tried my hardest to get even just a small sapling out of the ground to see if I could do it.
Just move it a little bit.
I mean,
There's
the
no-
sapling was this big. I
Yeah.
could not even move it.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll definitely post up pictures again so other people can see as well.
That one.
That's the pyramid. That's the pyramid. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll post that picture up for you guys to see.
We gotta
It gives
take
you
Definitely.
it gives
That's
you
insane.
a size of look how tiny we are compared to those.
Oh yeah,
And there's one squatch moving each one of those logs, and because we've seen it in video, they pick them up, just tear them out of the ground, and just walk around with them.
We've
Yeah.
seen a video of a Squatch throwing a 20-foot tree, like
Oh yeah,
20 feet in the air, like a javelin.
And then a physicist figured it out of just estimating the tree at like 900 pounds or 1,700 pounds,
Being
something
about
like that.
this round.
Yeah, this thing was-
No human can chuck it like a fucking
Yeah.
toothpick.
Yeah.
Chucked it like a
Well,
toothpick.
even that video we're watching there,
Yeah.
that what do they call it? Ape,
Oh, yeah.
skunk, or whatever.
Skunk
ape.
Skunk ape. He's just tearing that tree apart.
Yeah, like a
you know?
banana, like it's nothing.
Like it was nothing.
yeah.
And to go back to what you were saying about showing people these things who
Yes.
are skeptic, we are planning on doing something like that here soon when he's ready to retire. We're going to do expeditions.
Oh,
Full
man.
time, full going, dude.
So
So
every
people
time
can-
we take somebody, we're kind of like taking the bugs out of our little thing here. And we've seen another guy doing it, and he won't give you near the experience that I can. And it's expensive.
Imagine being able to go out and find your own footprint and then
Yeah.
plaster that thing.
Yeah.
Take it with you home.
Yep.
That's
We can do
crazy.
that.
That's what we're
That
gonna
is
do.
cool, guys. That is cool. What are you going to call it? Your business?
I think probably Squatching Pacific Northwest.
Woo,
Nice,
legit. Sounds legit.
nice.
There you go. You heard it here on the Beyond Expectation for sure. That's
First
cool,
time
man.
I've ever said it.
Todd Standing does that too, right? He does that too as well. He takes
does,
people
but
up there.
He's charging like $10,000 a person.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
But he's taking you out to the most remote parts of Canada where you're guaranteed to see what he's seen. And
Okay.
that's
And
an
then-
experience
and
I'd
then,
love to do.
The family or the clan of Squatches out there, they've accepted him as
As basically one of
they
them.
tolerate him.
Wow.
Because you saw the way that he was bent over and they were watching
Yeah.
him. He was replicating their lifestyle
yeah,
so that they would accept him.
yeah. Pretty much that's was his thing that you have to be accepted first to even go in that area,
Right.
or
Imagine-
else it's
imagine
trouble.
about
Yeah,
the
What
rest
would
of-
have happened
Yeah.
if they didn't like him after they threw that log at him? In the first
Right.
That was like
something
massive.
else.
To get
I mean-
kicked a giant like log that was like something a tractor would have to pick up and throw.
Yeah.
That thermal
That
that
hit
he
him.
got was
Oh,
just
yeah.
unbelievable.
There's that part of the video too in the documentary where he catches one going up like a vertical hill.
Oh, yeah.
He's just climbing super quick. I'm like,
We've
dude, what is
experienced
that, bro? I'm like,
We've
dude, what is
experienced
that?
firsthand. The first time I
Really?
went
You've
out
seen
there.
that?
Oh yeah, we've
heard
experienced it.
We've
Yeah,
heard it.
We didn't get to actually see it, but we heard
It's
it.
too dark. You know, once that sun goes back there,
I think it was the first
It's
night we ever went.
completely dark. I mean,
You can't see your
dark,
hand in
dark.
front
Yeah.
of your face.
Yeah.
Okay, so now going back to our trip. So here's some cool stuff that happened. There was other milestones that were reached. As we usually know, they watch us from when we get there. We let them know we're there, and they come around and they let you know they're there.
Toy with
they
you.
make noise. Well, while we were there this time, we got eye shine. I mean, it's completely dark, and I saw these big amber eyes glowing. Granted, it could have been a cat, but I don't think so because this
Too
thing
high off
was,
the ground.
was following us. And then later on in the night, we heard something in the bushes on the side of the road, and we found a fresh bush, fresh footprint, which was like that's never happened to us before, where we find it the same night. Usually it's the next day. This thing ran across the road, and we all got spooked, and we got our flashlights and where is he? And, you know what we should have done? We should have tracked that thing and followed it, but we were too spooked. And
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't blame me. You see something like that,
Yeah,
you freak
They
out.
probably didn't want to get me
It
killed.
yeah, it makes your hair stand up. So all of us are all, "Oh, you want to go down there? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
The tension was high. I mean, because you're just there's all this stuff going on, and you're like,
Right.
am I hearing things? Am I scaring myself?
Because we're walking out there in complete darkness. I mean,
what's
we don't have
crazy is
no
before
lights
we
on
go
or
out,
nothing.
you could hear
and
the forest.
your
You hear the
all your
crickets.
senses
Everything.
are
When
intense.
When we went out there, you don't hear shit.
Yeah, it's like dead
it was
silent,
so
quiet.
quiet.
So even
Yes.
even the little smallest noise, you feel like, oh, what's that?
Yeah,
You could hear
Yeah.
like, let's say a mouse running across the twig or something.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
that little
and
silent
you know
crack,
you
that
can
we hear that.
explain some
Yeah.
of the noises, but then again, some of them you can't. I mean, this thing was so quiet, it ran in front of the road, probably about 30, 40 yards in front of us in complete darkness, and we did not hear one sound. If we wouldn't have hit the bushes on the right side of the road, we would have never known
Yeah.
that he had crossed the road.
For sure.
But he followed us, and then he came across the road, and
Dipped out.
they were playing. He had a good time.
That's crazy. That is
we were
crazy.
definitely being watched all night, though.
Dude,
You
yeah.
can feel it, huh?
Yeah,
Because you get
yeah.
that feeling right here in your hair. And then when we found that footprint, nobody wanted to go. My hair was like standing up.
I
Yeah.
had to sleep in a truck as sentry that night just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the activity was really heavy, and there was a lot of footprints in there, and there was a lot of kill activity by that big cat that we were
Yeah,
staying
so-
right on
Yeah.
top of.
That was
his
what I
house,
was
so-
more worried about was the cat, the squatch, because if he was going to kill us, we'd have been.
So
dead.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was
Long time
epic.
ago.
I mean, it had us on our toes the whole time we were there. Oh God, okay,
Go
okay,
looking
cougar.
for wood in the middle of the night when it's like really, really dark.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yep.
get more wood for the fire. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's when
feel
you're most
being
vulnerable.
watched.
Yeah.
You feel you're being
For
watched.
sure.
Yeah.
And it's always just like I said, like your hair stands up to know, like, you know,
Yeah.
there's something watching you. I don't know what it
Better
is.
than a
but-
haunted house.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
could see
it's
it. I mean, with how
exhilarating.
quiet it was and how far away it was, you could
yeah.
totally see why that was their playground because
sure.
Yeah.
everyone's leaving them alone, especially come winter, right? Once they
Yeah,
hit
when
that
it's
snow.
so snowed out,
And
it's
then with the
non-maintenance.
forest fires, there's
Yeah.
been nobody back there, so they had the whole place to themselves. And let me tell you, they're running rampant. I mean, every time we go, people ask us, "Well, why don't you cast them?" Shh, my garage would be
See
full
so
of
many,
casts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just too many. I'll take a picture of the best ones, and I just keep those because if I want, I can just go cast.
Now we're
something
finding
any-
them by
any weekend.
human-made barricades to keep us out from going to that road
Oh,
where that fire was. Well, we went to the barricade and we're finding like 17-inch footprints right next to the barricade.
Interesting. So have you come across anybody else like doing the same thing you guys are doing as of recent, like since the last time we
Not
talked up there?
legitimately.
No.
I mean,
Not
there's a lot
legitimately.
of people
Not at
out
all.
there that try to do it, but they're going out there
mean-
making so much noise that anything that's around is going to be gone.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
see your hikers because there was a lot of national forest hiking trails back there.
Mm-hmm.
But most of those people are oblivious because we do ask,
And they go
a
hiking
hiker.
without a weapon. That's just dumb. There's enough mountain lions and
Without
bears
a
out
weapon?
there with-
Yes.
yeah. Every hike I go on, but they call me out whenever I have, my sidearm. People don't like it when I have my sidearm.
I'm
but
not
I was
going
like,
out there
dude,
without one,
no,
no.
Yeah, it's kind of common
I'd
sense.
rather
I think
have
you
it
would
and not
take
need
something.
it
You know what I'm
than need
saying?
it and not have it.
Yeah, exactly.
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 You know, growing
We
up in
see-
the country taught
we
me
see
one
too
thing.
many Krugers way up there for we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the nearest person is probably 50, 60 miles away. And, you're better have something.
Yeah.
We pack heavy artillery when we go.
Have you guys ever had
When
anyone,
we go deep, we carry a lot.
Yeah, I know. But so like I know what I felt right when I was out there, and I mean it was just wild. But have you ever invited anyone out and they just got scared, or
Nobody's ever made it that far.
they've never made it?
Right. So we've got people saying, "Oh yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go with you."
I would do that again though. That was
wanna do it
actually like it was scary. It was
No.
scary.
But
We
it's,
went into summer. You want to try a winter one?
yeah, we're going up soon.
I'll do a winter one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No mosquitoes.
Oh,
Plus.
perfect.
But
Yeah. Oh, I was getting eaten alive.
Oh, I think you
my
never
man.
told me.
Oh, eaten
you can go
alive.
too.
All right.
You
All right.
both
So
go.
when, we'll plan it ahead. Winter and the weekend.
Let's do it.
Let's do
I
it.
would love to.
Yeah.
Try,
So
try
what-
out the
what's
new
the-
heater.
Tell us about that. What are we looking for? What's different about a winter one?
Yeah, definitely.
We
There's
get
differences.
Way better results. They come close.
When it's cold,
Yeah.
they
and
love
rainy
moving
and like snowing. Yeah, they come close.
when
You
it's
still do
early
apple drop?
morning
And-
it's
and in the
and
winter-
frosty and foggy. Oh, that's the best.
In the winter is when they're most playful because that's when they were throwing rocks at us. They shake trees.
They're around more.
Are you staying the
Close-
night
closer.
then when you're doing this?
Yes.
Okay.
2-3
okay.
nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
It's been
odd.
snowing a
First
couple
time
of
we did it
times.
without weapons.
Yeah, the first 3 years we did it without a gun until that cougar ran by our tent and that.
No, you're like, nah, I ain't going naked out there this
Cougars.
time.
And I
Are
had
they
to
out
go to the
during the winter?
bathroom. I had to wait in there
Yeah.
because I was too
Okay.
scared to go out.
Yeah,
For
no, I
over an
blame you.
hour.
But it's obvious because
Yeah.
you'll see a cougar's prints, and then you'll see their tail drag right behind.
Yes.
You know it's
And
exactly.
it's
Okay.
a cat print. I mean, there's only so many cats out there.
Non-claw, no
Big
claws in the
cats.
snow because the claws are retractable, so you'll never see a claw on a cougar.
So you're just seeing paw.
Just seeing the paw pad.
Okay.
So, we're still going for our ultimate goal is with, we've been interacting for all this time now, and the interactions are getting a lot better. And the younger one, like I explained to you on the last one, he's our friend now.
Wow.
He's getting close.
That's so cool.
I mean,
He's
really close. To the
And,
point
and
where
I'm
you
pretty
can
sure
visual see the
that
trace
every
shake in front
time
of you.
we go there, that it's the young guy that comes down and plays.
We found this guy when he was basically the size of a toddler.
Yeah, he was a
Found footprints like maybe like a size 3 toddler shoe.
Yeah,
like
at
that.
the apple
And
drop.
now they're about 12 and a half inches.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So
he's known us all.
when these guys, when you're saying he's friendly with you now, but is this something where the family decides if it's okay to go?
pretty
There
sure
has
it
to be
is.
because there's
Yeah.
always an alpha and a day walk.
And
Okay,
they got
okay.
some kind of hierarchy. The alphas, they're the main protectors, bodyguards of the clan, and I think it's going to be their final decision. And I'm sure the big guys know us too.
They're the ones taking
yeah.
the apples.
They
Yeah,
probably
right.
You got to
send
be
you
the
to get
first ones in
apples.
to eat.
Because I make sure that we live in 7, 8, 9 of the
And these
biggest
are
apples I can
huge
find.
apples.
I mean, it's always the giant ones.
Why do you choose apples?
This seems to get the best results because we've tried cinnamon roll,
Natural
jerky.
porridge.
They like
You
jerky
don't want to
too.
move something like outside of
But
what
the,
they would-
Yeah.
the apples, we never find nothing,
Plus, when they
apple
poop
cores.
out all the seeds, who knows? They might have another tree and a natural something for them to eat all the time. year
Yeah,
round.
there you go.
Smart.
Yeah, just never know.
Wow.
So much has happened though.
Yeah.
Yes, it's getting better every time. They're getting more comfortable with us. They're, I think we entertain them, and they have a good time when we go there. I know we have a good time when they go there.
And now one of the intents with me coming out there, I was armed with my camera. I was there to collect evidence.
Yes.
I was taking pictures, video. So I do have that footage. This was back when our podcast was named the Tip Touch Podcast.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I'm saying in that, but I do want to get that thing out. It's just when I was starting to edit everything, I realized I don't know how to edit. So I have all of the videos, ready to go. It's just a matter of putting that documentary together.
Yes.
But but anyway, so that is something that I really, really want to do for you guys, is just to be able to get that out there.
Yeah, because we didn't, usually I document right when it's fresh in my head. I'll go and I'll write my little documentary thing and then post and then download the pictures into my son's computer because that's where I have everything. And this time I didn't because you're the documentary.
We just brought you out to basically be our
Right.
Yes, and all of that evidence.
trip.
I mean, I have everything. So if there's anything there that, I mean, pictures, whatever, I can always give that to you. But I really
Post
want
them.
to
Put
just
them on there.
get that thing out
That
there.
was an experience for you to also share with everybody to show, hey, we're not bullshitting.
Yeah.
They're actually doing work.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. It was
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff.
never
out
something I would have never thought I would have done.
And that's one thing too. This is coming from a person. I'm just saying, like, you know, even with like the topic of UFOs, right? We've discussed that in the past. Now that it's more out there, we're talking about it now. The Bigfoot one was kind of one of those things where even me, like, I was like, I don't know. I've heard about the tales before, but talking to these guys and then doing my own research on the side of the stuff that they recommended, I'm like, there's definitely something out there. There's definitely. I'm a firm believer that
there's a lot of good stuff out
yeah.
there.
I can't wait to start doing UFO.
Okay, so let's jump into that. So this is the creme de la crop right now of just UFOs being the it topic with everything being released by the government. We're having these whistleblowers come out. Everything that Bob Lazar said pretty much is true according to what they're saying, right?
Yep.
So now, Hector, you've heard from the grapevine that there's something going on locally here, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, I went to my doctor's appointment, and I've got a good rapport with my doctor, and you know he's familiar with my little escapades of Bigfooting, and he asked me if I've heard of any UFO and Bigfoot sightings together, and I looked at him and I said, "It's funny you should say that." So we go into this spiel about talking about what I know and what he's heard, and he told me, if you want to see one, go out to Highway 9 between Lake Stevens and Snohomish. There's big power grid right there, and just hang out there after 1 o'clock in the morning, and you'll see something. I go, you gotta be kidding me! I'm out there, I've been around here for years and years, and I've been out there at that time, and I didn't see nothing. And he goes, did you wait? Did you sit around and look? And no, I'm just in the area.
Yeah.
Well, if you look, you'll find it. Okay.
So it's interesting that he
This
says
was
that.
just
It's like he's done it.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it sounded like he knew what he was
Happens
talking
all the
about.
time, I guess,
And
he
he,
said.
and he is a doctor. So
Yeah.
Right.
it's credible.
He ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, why would why would he even bring it up?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Unless, his interest, and he just mentioned it to me, and he sounds like a pretty sound feller to me. So
So have you tried like taking his advice and going out there after 1 and just waiting out
I
there?
think we might start doing something, just maybe, I got some time, maybe we'll go out and just hang out there. He told me where to park to watch it. And
Interesting.
I just saw a little
yeah.
4K camera.
Or-
so that's
God, I want to do that too.
That one seems like
if
yeah.
we could put up a camera out there,
True. You can do that too. Yeah.
that would be
Micro USB power it, have it running out throughout the whole night. Something to hold it to
so
give
you
it
can
juice
see
enough so
live.
it can run the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they say too, there's always those things where something like that's always occurred. Like
it shorts out.
yeah, it shorts out the battery.
Yeah,
or like it kills the battery
Like
instantly.
we said, because the other day we were all sitting in the living room, me and the kids, we were sitting there watching a movie. Well, this weird looking jet flies over the house. The TV goes off, cable goes off, and it stays off until this thing is way out of distance.
Wow.
Then the TV and everything
that's
like
easy.
right back on,
That's the
like the scrambler jet.
That's crazy.
right, the prowlers,
Yeah.
the Navy base.
And
Yeah.
the kids are like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I didn't test nothing." We go outside and there's this like weird looking jet flying by, and then it goes at a distance, and we go back inside.
Everything comes back.
Boom, like it never went off.
That's
So
a
something military related.
prowler.
Oh, it's active over here.
The streets are hot for sure. Dang, that's crazy. So, I think I've already told you about my little encounter when I went to Lake Chelan this summer, right?
Yeah, we talked about it on the pod, but I want you to share that with.
So
the boys.
I would want to say my first experience. I went to camping out by Lake Chelan, 4th of July weekend. We always go out there and do our little camping trip. And we went out by the lake. And over there, obviously, Chelan compared to here, the night sky, you see all the stars, like everything, right? And we're just looking up and we're just talking about just random stuff. And we see a couple planes flying by. You can tell they're flashing and all that. But at the corner of my eye, I see this one where it's just flying super quick. It's just like a steady, like just glowing white light. And it's just flying just straight. It's going super quick. I'm like, there's no way this is a plane. Because everything else, you can tell it's obvious that they are planes. This was just like zooming across. And it's not a shooting star. Because shooting stars just, they glow for a good while and they disappear, right?
Okay. Did it have like a tail like a shooting?
No, it was just like a ball of light just flying through. It was just like
Did it
going
change
across.
trajectories?
No, it was just going straight.
That could have been a satellite.
Oh, it could be a satellite too, but it was just like super like
Yeah,
bright.
see, now,
Still have
if that
the
thing
FAA
would change
lights. They still blink,
trajectory
you
or
just can't see 'em very
altitude,
good.
Yeah.
then definitely you got something going on there because you've seen some of those things. They can stop on a dime.
Yeah.
They can turn
Turn
on
on,
a
yeah,
dime.
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, but this one was it just caught my attention because it was pretty bright and it was just moving super quick.
Next
Like,
time
dude,
you have
what
an
the hell?
experience like that, bring like a laser pointer, and when you see it, point it,
Point it.
and then shine it like twice. And if it glows brighter and then stops, then you're making communication.
That's
I've
crazy.
seen
Yeah,
people
then
do
it's gonna
that.
come and grab you, and then he's gonna.
Oh, dude, probe me, dude.
I think that aliens want to touch our ass.
Oh, no,
I'm not talking to
right.
Eddie.
They
I'm
like
talking to Eddie's
travel
clone.
light years to get
I
just to stick their
I-
fingers in our butt.
I seen
Things
something.
like-
I
What are they,
seen
college
something.
kids?
I seen something that there's the blue aliens, which are really intelligent, and they're the good aliens, and they can go through wormholes and stuff like that. They could travel the speed of light. And then you got your other ones, which are the gray people. They can also go through the speed of light, and they're cool. And then you got the bugs. Those, they don't have the technology to go through the speed of light, and they're the ones that grab you and probe you.
Probe you, all that.
Oh.
Interesting.
The bugs.
Is there, I've heard of the reptilians. Have you heard of reptilians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the
Okay.
same thing or is that different?
Well, I think that's in
Katy
the same
Perry's
category as the
reptilian.
bugs.
Okay.
I seen her eye glitch on her. That chick eye just like sunk this way, but it looked like she was opening and closing like a gator eye underneath her eyelid. No, that's nasty.
I've seen like
crazy.
things on social media where they talk about our politicians being
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy
you know,
Pelosi, did you see
the
her when they say
bodyguards, the
burn
goons?
pit?
Yeah.
Rubbing her hands like a fly.
Man.
So what do you guys think about like everything coming out in regards to UFOs just in general, that they're actually just really being open about it, how they're admitting that
They have no choice.
Yeah, like at Roswell, everything that they've been involved with and
they've been watching us for like ever because we know that from the pyramids. from-
More
Yeah.
landings and more
from
like
Mexico
encounters are
City.
happening in like the lower
And then
48. A
from
lot.
all the maps that they leave on mountaintops, that were there. They've been there for 1,000 years or so. The Aztecs lining up the Sun Temple to Orion. There's
I think
too
that's
many
a mark, like a
coincidences.
bridgeway,
Yeah.
for sure.
like on
Well,
Thor.
we know there's a lot of
The way he
portholes.
travels.
I mean, there's portholes here on Earth that they come and go as they please, and I've seen, from what I've seen, they can open those up themselves.
Yeah, we seen
Because
a
you've
video
seen
that
them
was pretty cool.
where like a portal will open up and then a ship will go through it and then the portal will close. Wow.
Like folds in on itself like a square.
Yeah.
We seen this one that looked like a square.
I mean, it looks
Opens
like,
up out of nothing.
It looks like
Like a science
And-
straight
and it
out
just
of
fiction
goes in,
movie.
Yeah,
But, you
it
know,
goes sinks in there and it
who
just
knows?
closes.
Wow.
But yeah, those portals, they could just. It seems that the ship itself opens up those portals.
How do you seen that? Just internet?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the internet.
Documentaries, internet documentaries. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
so
documentaries you can watch
on
on,
the
YouTube
Bigfoot ones, I
that
get a
aren't
lot of
released on
UFO
TV.
ones, too,
They're like
so-
independent documentaries, and those are some really because people don't want to see they're not discredited or not credited
Or they don't believe it.
Yeah, or
you
people
know.
just won't believe it.
Why do you think there's so much resistance? I think a lot of it is
They
because
don't want to
fear.
know.
that's what I think.
Panic.
Yeah.
And the government is,
They're-
and that's
they're
why they've been
satisfied
so
with their
apprehensive about this. But now they're at this weird junction where they want the status quo of just
Well, now 'cause
denying
of-
everything, right?
Because of social
'Cause it'll
media
change the way
and all
everybody in the world thinks about our
declassifications, They have
past.
to say something.
Yeah. Well, too many
What's this?
whistleblowers are coming
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Too many whistleblowers are saying,
And too many videos, and yeah.
Have you heard about one of the interesting ones that I told Brett? I actually had to call him when I saw this encounter. Well, he recounted the encounter himself and talked about how in 2009 there was an earthquake in Sumatra. There was an earthquake tsunami, and they went out there to help out. And he was lieutenant of his squad. Yeah, he was. I forgot his full name, but I have the article here. That they encountered something down below. They were flying over in their helicopter and they landed and they went to see what was going on because it just looked super weird to them. Like there was this like really weird looking like just spaceship that according to him, that's what he saw. And he came across these guys, military trained, no badges on them, nothing, but he could just tell the way they were holding their weapons and just the way they were running the whole program, the way they were talking, it was US influenced. So it's like a higher tier of the Army, the SEALs.
Abbreviation.
Yeah, something just unknown under the radar. And he said he saw this saucer, this just plain looking thing with these symbols and like this really weird texture, and it was just hovering super quiet, and they were loading all these crates into the thing. When it took off and it didn't even make any the trees weren't making any movements or nothing, not even coconut saying like made any movements as it took off. It just went from hovering took off super quick. And this dude,
now you're talking
Hangar 7.
that's crazy.
What's it called?
Hangar 7 or
Oh,
Hangar 11.
Okay,
Something like that.
no.
Watch that because it has proof that a president was having a meeting with an alien civilization and then ends up supposed to be in Texas, ends up in Camp David somewhere.
Wow. A president like Reagan?
And
Reagan?
I don't remember which one it is.
Eisenhower?
But it might have been Eisenhower because they had a meeting and he was supposed to be going to this parade thing and being a part of it. Well, he never showed up there, and like an hour later ended up in Camp David. And there was no way in heck that he could have been in that place unless he had some.
No way.
Teleported,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because not even the
okay.
Secret Service knew his exact location until he was like.
Wild.
People that were with him got to travel with him, but the other Secret Service people thought he was going to this parade thing.
Wasn't there United Nations speech too? Was it Reagan? He was talking about if we were to have to deal with out of this world type.
That's why I guessed him because he was the one talking about bringing the world together, new world order, and just saying, well, we'd have to come together if there was an alien invasion.
Yeah,
and we're
like, why would he say that?
When you watch this, you'll understand why he says that. There's been multiple presidents from that time that have been taking meetings with this civilization, and they'll explain that civilization and get more further into detail.
See, that is so wild because remember when we first started talking about on this podcast about UAPs, UFOs, all that kind of stuff, I was so adamant that these were man-made. These are man-made. They're trying to pull this hoax on us. But now with all this stuff coming out, it's almost like the Nazis working on that UFO.
Right.
That Glock.
It's
called,
almost
that
like
Glock.
they got that from they didn't come up with that themselves.
Right. And the circuitry that was in the ship that they had a picture of was way advanced, way
Beyond ours.
Yeah,
And the material is made
back
out
in the
of
40s.
no...
They didn't have microchips, and that flying saucer
Right.
looked like a giant flying microchip.
Yeah.
Circuits all around it. Pretty good picture.
Crazy.
There was this also this unsolved mystery that I was watching, one of those old episodes, and they were talking about I forget what southern state it was. Maybe it was New Mexico, somewhere in the south. UFO crashes on a ranch, and this rancher, he's like, it was during a thunderstorm when this UFO crashed. So the next day, he got on his horse and he investigated everything, and he saw just debris everywhere. And he's like, what is this? And so he's picking up all this material and he takes it over to his neighbor. He's like, look at this stuff. And it's like he said he could best describe it as plastic, but they weren't making plastic. This was like in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
And so, and then they tried to burn it and it wouldn't burn. It wouldn't melt. It wouldn't do anything. Fire wasn't doing anything to it.
When they touched it after they tried to burn it.
Yep. That's then he calls the sheriff. Sheriff ends up calling the army, and then the army was hush about everything.
We need everything. We're going to confiscate everything. You didn't see anything, and here you go.
Yep.
Say anything, you're dead.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of the technology that they got nowadays comes from like microwave.
What do we think we got? Radar.
Teflon.
Yes.
All that comes from the New Mexico Roswell's.
Yes. Another thing too about that episode I was watching, they said that there was this metal, like almost, he said it looked like aluminum foil, except for when he crumpled it up.
Oh yeah, I saw
It
that.
took
return.
its shape
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Like
Space
crazy.
shuttle.
That
wasn't
was
even
wrong.
crumpled up.
It was like foil, he said, and then he crumpled it up
Like
and
a
it would
space
retain
blanket.
its shape. Wow.
It was just wild. I'm like,
You know,
this is
something
crazy.
like that would have to alter the electrical and magnetic field for it to reform like that. It would have to
We
definitely
just don't have
alter
that technology
one of
yet.
the fields.
So on this Highway 9 thing we're talking about, and you're saying it's at the electric grid, are they sucking electricity?
Yes,
What
that's what the guy said. The doctor said.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of documents.
is that why my electric bill is so high?
There's a lot of spikes.
Hey, stop
There's
it.
There's been documentaries showing that certain ships will rise or hover above like natural resources we have here
Yeah.
to like basically refuel their propulsion systems or something. They're using our stuff as fuel. Like they'll sit
Or
over
charge their
smelters,
batteries.
over like sulfuric acid smoke, sitting above it and collecting it.
That's why probably there's a lot
Wow.
of, now that you bring that up, that's a good topic to bring up. That's why there's a lot of activity at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. There's a lot. I mean, that is the hub of like,
There's something there.
There is something there.
There's an underground space station.
And then
So-
and that part of Arizona is pretty much baked dirt. So there's got to be some element or something that
Yeah, Arizona
that's
has it
essential
bad.
to them that either they need it or they want.
They've caught 3 UFOs on the news channel without
Arizona
even knowing
gets a lot of
during what they
reports.
call haboobs, giant sandstorms,
yeah.
actually catching a spaceship coming out of the haboob and taking off.
They use it as cover, you
Yeah.
know, so that they
I think
can't
they're
see the
using it
trajectory.
as their propulsion. That's what's creating the backdrop of
Yeah.
the haboob.
Yeah, 'cause
is
that
that
is- it
ship
is
taking
moving.
off because they only happen every once in a while in Arizona, and it's like statewide a dust storm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have seen that video of that flying
Yeah, that was
saucer
awesome.
taking off out of there.
And that's on a news station. They didn't even know they caught it.
there's so much, man. There's so much. I mean, even since the last time we've talked, there's been so many stories that I've heard just in regards to UFOs. There's obviously, the activities going on Skinwalker Ranch. There's one, the one that really stood out to me as well, and it was in Brazil, Virginia. Have you heard about that one? Where it was these 4 girls that saw this creature-like thing. It was raining, it was dark, and they came across this creature like against this like brick wall, and it looked at them. And one of the girls said that the eyes was like just red. They described it and they drew a picture of it. And the military was involved. Brazil's military was involved. Then we came in and said, "Hey, we're taking over this," and you didn't see nothing. The guy that actually had close contact with the police officer died because he tried to save it because it looked like it was dying, and he died I think 2 days later because he got some kind of infection. And the guy, so check this out.
Radiation.
They found one of the guys, the one of the last living guys that actually I think was the driver. Or something. They found him. Didn't want to talk. Get out of my property, or I'll shoot you right now. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. And he just told me he doesn't want to talk. And they were that close to even like having an interview because at first he was kind of like, should I say something or not? But then he's like, no, leave right now. And that was it. So they don't know, like he doesn't want to recount the story. Right. And he was the dude that was right there and saw it. The doctors too. They said they saw something, but all the medical records, everything
Gone.
That
Yep.
is-
That's crazy.
Wild. Yep, the government. Government cheese.
yeah. So it's like with all this government contact, it's almost like I wonder if they are working some sort of deal between them
I'm sure
against
they are.
us.
They got something going on.
How many aliens do you think are out there that are actually we see every single day on TV or something? We have no idea.
Right. Right.
I mean, look at there's some of them that aren't even. They're just obvious, like the dude from Aerosmith, Mick Jagger. I mean, they're not very good costumes, but you can tell them they're aliens.
I mean, yeah,
If I was an alien, I'd be a rock star.
Oh yeah, why not? Be the most famous person in the world. And nobody'd ever know that I could just change my form anytime I feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so interesting, man. As of late, I just feel like that topic in general is just, it's definitely being more open. People are more talking about it, but it just seems like the mass majority, they can say, oh, well, we knew all along. Like, it is what it is, like they do exist. But I think it's going to have to take some sort of event to happen where it's going to be like in front of our own eyes. It's real as it gets. Yes, there are some extraterrestrial beings that
We're
do
gonna end up
exist.
with an attack on
yeah.
TV.
There's a lot
Yeah.
more sightings on the other side of the world, though, I've noticed.
There's gonna be a dogfight on TV,
I mean,
and we're
we
gonna
get a
take
lot
them down,
here.
and then that's when it's gonna be everybody's gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
We
But
get a lot
do you
of
think it'll be
sightings, but
staged?
I think there's China.
It might be just so it'll show. Okay, get off this top. They get off the top. That way, the government can cover up anything else. That
Yep.
happens beyond
Yep.
that.
Where are you saying, Hector, that across the world that there's activity too?
Yeah, well, I think that there's more activity over China and Russia because they have more inhabited places, and as I remember that video I showed you of that ball that was flying and there was a jet right behind.
Yes.
There's a lot more video from that side of the world than we have, and in particular Mexico has a lot.
Yeah, Mexico too.
Of
That's a
weird
hot spot.
stuff going on.
Yeah. Well, even the supposed whistleblower, Gersh, what's his first name?
I think so.
He said one of the people of Congress asked him, "Have we had pretty much any casualties when it comes to having close contact with this?" And he just said, "I'm not going to answer that, but I'll say we were involved in some situations where something had happened." And that's all he was saying. I'm like, dude,
Oh, he said.
We had firefights with it.
what more do you need to
And
hear,
what's
bro? That's
is
crazy.
A lot of the
Yep.
people who are involved with those firefights will say that no matter how many or what type of ammo they shot at these ships, it would reflect right off.
Nothing.
Yeah, I've seen.
So
that
what if we
deflection.
started using like, let's say, obsidian tipped?
Yeah.
Do you think that would go through their thing? Because it's not lead,
Yeah.
not metal, it's a rock.
Yeah.
Well, I think the way Bob Lazar even described it when he was working at S4, like he claims, he said that like there was like its own gravitational like field across it where it was protecting it.
Right.
So it was like
Absorbs energy.
Yeah, so it's like it has its own. I guess there's nothing that's going to be able to penetrate it if it comes close to it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense. Like if someone, like if one of our fighters just were to shoot at this thing, I mean, I don't think it'd even touch it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Depending on the race.
Yeah.
well, from what I've seen on on the videos, it just seems that like a tank shooting at a UFO, it's gonna deflect it. It's like it's gonna bounce right off. Again, they're manipulating, I think, the magnetic field so that it can do that.
Yeah. Well,
Because there has to be something, because they could put a protective shield around their vehicles, and then when you shoot at it, it either absorbs the energy or it deflects the energy and it just shoots it off another direction.
10 years
really
from now,
cool
Tesla
to see.
will have that.
and it's funny that even with that advanced technology, that they're still crashing. You know.
Yeah.
Right. So
And that's how we've been able to reverse engineer a lot of
engineer.
this
That's
stuff.
why I asked,
you know,
were they
I
college
know
kids?
what that is.
They're
Yeah.
like coming out here for like a party and accidentally crashing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, like the one in Vegas, we touched the one in Vegas.
Vegas.
That one was
Vegas.
crazy, and we heard the call from the kid that was calling, saying it's not a joke. We saw something. You know, this thing's huge,
8 feet tall.
8
Didn't they
feet
come to
tall.
their door or something
Yeah,
like that?
it crashed behind like in their backyard or something like that.
I saw
Yeah,
that video.
that is
Thing was
crazy.
It
awesome.
didn't
dude.
crash. He just landed.
I think,
It wasn't even a crash.
Oh, okay, so it landed.
Yeah,
Okay.
it landed. And
So it left the imprints of it, and then
Just it
it was
landed,
gone.
made that
probably
big
got out
boom.
and took a piss and then took
Just,
off.
let's go.
So that's what you guys think is that they're just partying, they're just
Yeah,
flying.
we know they're not. We're not getting the smart ones.
Why would they stop in Vegas
getting
at
the
somebody's
ones that are like-
backyard?
Right.
You know?
That are
Might as well land in
outcasts
MGM
and
Grand.
they're driving around.
His
Accidentally
septic,
crashed.
his potty tank was probably full, and he couldn't take a piss in a dang spaceship, so he had to pull over.
And then let's go back
So
to
he
the.
came straight down from where he's all zoom, and then got out and pissed, and then back in and it's gone.
No intelligent life here. I'm out.
But that's the door camera got really good pictures, I guess, and then the government went and took them away from those people.
Yeah, they put a camera up there, right? Too.
This is the first time they've
'Cause they're
ever
coming.
done this
Yes.
in history.
They're gonna come back.
The police put a camera on that house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know why?
Never.
Because they're coming back.
Oh yeah. Once they land at a certain spot, they always come back to that. spot.
Right. And it's like at the same time of the year, they once they make contact with you and they're buddies with you,
Yeah.
you can't shake them.
Like grizzly.
Keep coming back and coming back.
Rather keep.
And they don't even have to catch you at your house. There was this one lady, she kept having them coming, and she was camping with her husband, and they showed up with her camping at the same time of the year as always. And these things just followed her around, and they'd send these little like things, spinning lights around, and yeah, she didn't like that.
Have you guys ever heard that? That there's a lot of UFO or UAP activity when around nuclear sites.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Arizona.
Yeah. Like that incident where they deactivated a couple of the nukes, like they were
Yes.
making them go off.
Yes.
And they were like,
I've
what the
seen
hell's
those.
going on?
Yes.
That was, and the actual gentleman that was there when he was down in those bunkers, he came out and said, yes, that happened. It made these, our missiles go off and they were about to go off and then they turned them off.
Yeah.
And it would
That
go-
is insane. If you don't
flies-
believe that, like, I don't know what,
Well, they got
that's enough
video
evidence for
of it
me.
flying right up to the tip. This thing's flying, and then the thing will fly right up to it, and then you'll see like a little shock, and then this thing.
I like
And then
that
the
video
flying
that
saucer,
showed the
zip,
two
gone.
flying saucers fighting against the one that's going into our orbit.
Oh yeah,
That was a good one.
That was from the space shuttle. So I think we talked about this on the last one, where a flying saucer, they see it from the space shuttle. It flies into the Earth atmosphere. Another one comes, stops, and flies down after it. This one flies up. This one shoots something at it, shoots a beam up at it, barely misses that thing, and it takes off. This one comes up and goes.
Basically, we have like our own.
That was on. They got that
space
on
fleet.
video,
Right.
on,
Because we
space
have
shuttle.
negotiations from
So-
what our presidents have been doing from.
Oh,
on
the
and
Space
on.
Force. You think that's what the Space Force is
I
all
think
about?
that's not
it
gonna
came
help
from
them out.
somewhere else, and
Yeah.
it chased that flying saucer out of it.
Out of our area, so we must have
And that thing
like
got
an
up and
agreement with
went.
the
Oh.
civilization.
It left very fast, and it got shot at too. Oh, too bad he didn't hit it. Maybe he was a bad guy. You never know.
Insane.
But that would have been cool to see.
We're living in a
explode.
battlefield.
Oh yeah.
You get ready, boys, for that intergalactic
It's
space
gonna-
war. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think we'll have a hope in that.
And, you know,
from that
and-
particle beam that I saw that thing shoot.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about this. All of us have found it, but we have to go through, our own ways. You can't just turn on, look at CNN. I mean, they've covered the Tic Tac. They cover,
Yeah.
just little tidbits, right? But they don't really put it out there like, hey, this is some real stuff. Although I
They
have
give
seen
you half a chapter. They won't give you the full chapter.
Right, exactly. And so I just think that when, so many people are still dismissive of it, that when there finally is an attack or whatever, when the government says, okay, it's a go, then people will finally
That's why I
open
think
it up.
it'll be
That's what
staged.
people are waiting on. They're waiting on the media. They're waiting on the government's approval.
They'll take an inactive ship, get it to run just enough to where they can shoot it down.
Yeah.
The
I'm
public,
sure
okay, look,
they've
this is
got
real.
parts of I'm absolutely positive that they got parts of spaceships if they don't have one.
Well, supposedly the name that I keep seeing that supposedly has this stuff is Rob Bigelow. That owns that company. I forgot. He works with the guy from Blink 182.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Man.
Barker.
He
Yeah,
was the
no,
one
not Travis
guy that owned
Barker,
this, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but Rob Bigelow is like a CEO of this company, and he owns a lot of. Supposedly, he has his hands on a bunch of that stuff.
Wasn't he the original, or not the original owner of the Space Skinwalker Ranch, but wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the one that owned it, then he sold it off. And now there's a new owner that's doing an investigation into it as of now, and he's trying to get to the bottom of it too. Because he said it's just not a coincidence that there's so much activity happening within this area, and he's trying to do his own investigation and using his own money to start this investigations and just seeing what's really going on. And he said as when he took over, a lot of these people that were skeptics as well, he says they've been seeing a lot of things that just they don't add up. So there's something going on.
When you're there, they said that you could think of like a cryptid, and that cryptid shows up in front of you.
That's crazy.
No, man.
I'm good.
It's like Ghostbusters thinking of that giant marshmallow man.
Right.
This giant marshmallow man's running through the mountains.
Right.
No, thank you.
That's crazy.
Dang, man. So, so when we go in the winter, then
Yes.
let's make a stop at the power grid
Oh, yeah.
on Highway 9.
Yeah,
Look
that'd
for
be a
some
good one.
UFOs too.
We-
No, I'm just kidding there, but
Hey, but that's another subject.
Yeah.
And I would be interested in doing something like that. Maybe setting up a little tent, some hot beverages,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
snacks, and just hang out and
yeah,
watch.
dude, if you guys are
And
doing that
maybe-
thing,
For sure.
Maybe set up a camera or something out there and
Yep.
just sit around and something pops
I
up.
got my
Hey,
4K one that I just bought, and I'm gonna try to test it out with that.
sweet,
Nice.
sweet. I'll bring my camera too.
Yeah, I got a GoPro as well, so we'll be ready.
Plus,
dude.
I got a night vision scope too.
Nice.
Oh
So,
yeah.
So this night one, I think maybe we should go up on this one
Yeah.
by ourselves and then bait it and get them going.
And then
And then
have
maybe
everybody
in 2
come
weeks
in.
after that,
Perfect.
all of us go.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that way, because it's better if we go up there and
Entice.
and well get them going that they know that we're coming around.
Yeah, 'cause
and then
they
when
know
we
we're
come,
coming shortly
Yeah.
after
second
the apples
time
get there.
they come down right away.
Well, there you have it, ladies and
would be-
gentlemen. You're going to see the boys go out
yeah,
there and do
it's-
their all
it's-
Mother Nature.
Oh, Brett hung out champion. I mean,
He's
he got to
lasted
see
the
some
longest out of
really
anybody.
stuff, and I
Anybody.
don't know.
I loved it.
He looked fascinated, but
I was. I mean, it was wild. I called Eddie just on the very next day. Once I got home, I'm like, bro,
We got to talk.
we gotta go do this.
Fair enough.
it was
But
fun.
I mean, with that being said, boys, do we want to wrap this one up? And part 3 will come soon once we do this expedition. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So I'm going to close this one out. Definitely stay tuned for that one. And also follow us if you haven't. Subscribe to our Instagram page, Beyond Expedition Podcast, which will have direct links to where we're available on all major streaming platforms, Spotify, TuneIn FM Radio, Apple Podcasts, you name it, and our YouTube page as well, where we have all our videos to every episode. But take care. Have a good one. Have an awesome Friday when this one drops off. Oh, before we close out.
Can I do a Ohio call for my grandson?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
The floor is yours, Hector.
Also, after that, let everybody know how they can connect with you guys as well.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is for my grandsons.
That was good. That was good. I felt the hair.
I got my grandson.
Imagine hearing that in the middle of the night.
Oh, man, I'd
nothing
freak
around.
out.
Oh, man.
I'm cocking and locking. I'll tell you that.
No noise, no nothing.
I'm always caught and locked when we're out there. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Give it about
Right on,
15 minutes and cops will show up.
You got a Bigfoot in there.
All right. So yeah, let the people know also before we close this out where they can reach you guys at, or where
Any
we can
questions?
see.
Just comment on their thing. I'm always watching your guys' podcast.
Oh,
anyway,
appreciate that.
so
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome.
Just comment on there. I can get anything you want to know. I can let you know.
Okay.
Perfect.
Once we take these guys out and get our expedition thing down packed, then we'll develop a
Start up
website.
our own website. for
Dope.
it.
So coming soon.
Awesome.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
All
We're
right.
still
Yep.
putting it together, and it's coming around.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
looking
and
good.
when it goes live, let us know, and we'll do a whole episode on that.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely promo you guys. All right, so we're gonna close this one out. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic Friday when this drops. Enjoy the weekend. We'll catch you next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.